Trump says he has picked his vice president. Let's go and put that up there. On the screen, Donald Trump told NBC News, quote, "In my mind, yes, I have picked the person that will, quote, most likely then be at the Thursday debate against Joe Biden." He says, "They will be there. I think we have a lot of people coming." So Trump said nobody knows his choice yet. Currently, there are multiple people who are in contention. NBC claims Doug Bergham, J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio are, quote, the possible top contenders. I don't know how much I would take that list necessarily to the bank, but Doug Bergham, I don't think there's any chance, is not near the top of the list. He is blank slate. People can go watch our interview with him, you know, if you're interested. Look, in terms of his political experience and all that, let's just be kind and say it's not near the big leagues. But he has been making the rounds on television and kind of slavishly selling himself as a Trump defender. Here, for example, is a recent interview he just gave yesterday talking about the Veep stakes. Let's take a listen.
But the real thing, which we ought to be talking about, is Joe Biden's choice for VP, because as you showed earlier in the show, with Joe, with him obviously failing right now in front of the world stage and the national stage, and then he picked 4 years ago someone who's got no business experience, no operating experience. Between Biden and Harris, they've never created a private sector job in their life. And then here we are facing a set of issues that a businessman like Trump can really take care of, which is our economy. Trump's proven that he can take care of the border. And Trump's energy policy is going to, change the whole national security scene. So I think that the focus ought to be on Biden's choice. And who knows if Biden's even going to make it to the starting line.
So who knows if Biden's even going to, it's like, what, dude, answer the question. It's like, are you actually in the running for a VP or not? He also went on CNN. He said Trump was a dictator, Biden was a dictator, actually, when asked a question about Trump. Let's flip this also, and let's go to the next part just to show you there's like multiple competing factions, as I understand it. Apparently, Rupert Murdoch has been pushing Doug Bergham, and he really doesn't like J.D. Vance. Donald Trump Jr., though, has kind of his own coterie of people. Him and J.D. Vance have become relatively close. J.D., for example, appeared on Trump Jr.'s podcast on Rumble. Trump Jr. has been tweeting about J.D. Vance. He wants somebody who's more ideologically aligned with the quote-unquote America First agenda. This is one of those where I just don't know who is going to win out. Look, it's certainly possible Trump picks somebody who ideologically could be his enforcer, somebody like JD. It is also equally possible that he picks somebody like Marco Rubio. Now, one of the reasons that I've heard about Rubio, Krystal, is that they are very excited about the burgeoning Hispanic vote, and they want somebody who can genuinely speak Spanish, who can cut ads for them, that they could play all across South Texas, Florida, etc. The other one is that Trump himself right now is so beholden and so excited by cash and by billionaires that Doug Bergham both has, traditional Reaganite policy. Obviously, he'll just say whatever he needs to say, to take the job. He himself has got a lot of money, so he could both write checks and he can get a lot of rich friends to donate. And he's not offensive in any way. Like, he makes the billionaires very, very happy. And right now, obviously, they're in his ear. And Trump has been taking a lot of advice from them. Everything I've read currently is that the old guard GOP, who's been donating a lot of money to Trump this time around, they're pushing Trump, somebody like Bergham and Tim Scott very heavily. So we will find out. I doubt we'll actually. I'm curious. What do you think? Do you actually think he's going to tell us on debate day?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Because you wouldn't want that to upstage whatever he's about to do.
Yeah,
maybe it'll be the day after. I'm not sure, but
I think he's going to wait till the RNC to announce. Yeah. I mean, I just think he'll want the build up and exactly. He wants the show. I mean, to announce it at the debate or after that, it's just kind of lacks the pop that he would want. I don't know. I'm feeling the Bergamentum. Who knows?
I think you're right.
I mean, Tim Scott is another one where the donor class really loves him. So I could see the logic there. Listen, Trump last time made a very strategic choice. He needed to, back in 2016, he needed to solidify his standing with evangelicals who were a little shaky with him. Mike Pence was the perfect pick, and I think was, really responsible for helping to get him over the top at then, especially after Access Hollywood. It was a very clever choice. And Pence was incredibly loyal to him all the way up until basically January 6th. So, on every level, it was a tactically wise choice for Trump. I think he will make another choice that he feels to be in his tactical interest. Because remember, this man is not just fighting to get back in the White House. He really is also fighting for his freedom because there is a good chance that even though these various cases, the documents case, for example, even though they've been slow rolled, and are not going to come to some sort of conclusion before the election, if he doesn't win, he's facing tremendous legal jeopardy. And so I think that's something not to lose sight of, which is why, I mean, listen, who knows? I don't have any special insight into the mind of Donald Trump, nor do I want to. But I just find it hard to believe he's going to pick someone like J.D. Vance. Because what does he bring? What does he bring coalitionally? You know, he doesn't bring, there's not a demographic group that Trump's going to imagine he brings to the table. There's not a group of donors, like the donors, if anything, they don't really like J.D. Vance, like the Rupert Murdochs of the world.
He's friends with Silicon Valley.
Are uncomfortable with him. That's true. Yeah. He is friends with Silicon Valley.
He helped make the all-in thing happen, right?
But the other thing is that, like, J.D. Vance is trying to channel what Trump said in 2016, and it's no longer actually an ideological match even. So I don't know. We'll see what direction he goes in. But given the ideological direction he's moved in, given what he's prioritized in terms of this campaign, I don't know. There's a lot there in terms of like a Tim Scott or a Doug Bergham, someone who really is a sop to the donor class. And we should also say too, and give Biden his credit, it's not just that they've grown more comfortable with Trump and he's given the, hey, I'll give you your tax cuts, I'll give you your deregulation, I'll, flip-flop on TikTok, I'll flip-flop on crypto, I'll flip-flop on carried interest, like whatever you want, I'll do it for you, immigration. It's also that Wall Street really hates Biden's antitrust division in particular. They hate it because so many Wall Street, like rank and file workers, they get their bonuses based on mergers and acquisitions. And Biden's antitrust division has really put a lid on all new mergers and acquisitions. So that is a big part of why Wall Street really dislikes Joe Biden, in particular, really dislikes Lina Khan, who he has sort of turned the policy over towards, and has really charted a much better course in terms of antitrust enforcement. And they absolutely hate that. I'm sure they're not in love also with the, the new labor organizing and the way Joe Biden's NLRB is positioned. But I do think antitrust is sort of like the key rub for them. So it's not just that they're more comfy with Trump, it's also that they're unhappy with some of the Biden economic policies and the way it's hurt their bottom line.
Yeah, certainly. Look, don't get me wrong, they don't like him. Trump also, it helps if Trump is like, yeah, sure, whatever you want in terms of the policy.
100%.
Last time around, it was a little bit different. We will see, certainly. I think JD still got a decent shot just because Trump Jr. really likes him. And
do you think the dad cares what Trump Jr. thinks? I just really kind of doubt that.
What I think is that FaceTime at Mar-a-Lago matters with a man who's constantly polling people around him. And I know JD's basically been
I get a vibe of a lot of disrespect towards Don Jr. from dad.
I'm more saying that's how he's been able to get in. Look, he likes people who go on TV. JD goes on TV and defends him. So does Doug Bergham. So does Tim Scott. JD actually is articulate versus some of the other candidates there who are in the race. Coalitionally, it's true. I mean, Ohio, you're going to win Ohio no matter what. So, again, it really feels about how comfortable he is in a victory and what it's going to look like, and also the optics that he wants on television, because Trump himself doesn't like to go in and do he likes to spar, but he doesn't want to do the daily hits, whereas I think the VP candidate, just like all of these people have been all over television, he wants them on TV constantly, defending him like a surrogate. So who he thinks will representatively do a really good job against Kamala Harris, and also just on television constantly defending him, that is what's going to come into play, because he's always about the optics and about how it's going to look going into the race. So I'm curious, too, to see what he does. I would give all of them a relatively equal shot. I do think Bergham, I don't know, I'm just feeling Doug Bergham right now. Yeah, as well. Maybe, it
would be so totally funny, because you guys got to go back and watch the interview. Yeah, it was, I never in a million years would have thought he had a shot at anything. Just go watch it. Go watch it. That's all I have to say.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show. Help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.